I see the Padawan needs one last lesson. Tell me, is it the chosen one? He will avenge us.
One X-Wing? Great. We're saved.
I'll look around until I found someone who laughs like you.
Hello, my good friends and family. Welcome to the chat. I see 45 people already in here. Lost, confused, abandoned, unsure of what is happening. That's how so many of us feel like in the Star Wars franchise right now. So many longtime fans of the franchise don't really know how to feel. It's tough to have a conversation. You find yourself hiding in corners. You don't know who you can say to what. You got to try to gauge your friends to find out the conversations you can have in Star Wars. That is not what I want. It's not what I want for myself. It's not what I want for you guys here. And so I thought it'd be nice to take a night and go back in time to 1999. This is where we're going to start for the opening of the Phantom Menace. I have somebody with me who I know can geek out, who remembers how amazing this was, how amazing the feeling was being there with all your fellow Star Wars nerds, how much you could enjoy that feeling. My good friend, Drunk3PO. What's up, buddy? You ready to go?
Bro, where do you send these links at, man? Like, what the heck?
Okay, so hold on.
Are you coming or not on the stream?
Hold
like,
on.
I'm waiting for the link.
Before we go any further, I'm a serial offender of being like, hey, are you coming to the stream? And like, you never sent me a link, dude. It's happened before.
Oh, so you forgot to send the link.
Yeah, I totally forgot to send the link. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah.
He's like texting me all mad.
I don't know about mad.
It was pretty mad text. Saw it.
The text was in italics. What's up to the chat? Hello, everybody. I see all you beautiful people here. So many good friends. I'm not going to list off everyone this time because, oh my God, there are way too many of you. It's so good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. So yeah, this is the opening of a limited release podcast where we're going to be going through 6 episodes of Star Wars, start to finish on these movies, talking about what we loved, what we didn't like, maybe some social opinion at the time about what the movies were, and just breaking it down, going back to what it used to feel like. This conversation we used to have that was healthy and fun and vibrant.
You should have titled it the Star Wars We Love podcast, The Phantom Menace.
It's in the thumbnail.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't help the Google search.
I'm
Just
here
trying
to
to
have
help
a
you, buddy.
conversation, and you're just throwing algorithm stuff in my face right now.
You want to grow? You want more people in here? You want to promote a positive community? How are they gonna find you?
I just remember it kind of reminds me of the first. Do you remember when I met you in Animal Kingdom? Do you remember how that went? The first thing that you said to me in Animal Kingdom?
I said you look good.
Do you? No. It,
Actually, can I hold you by the waterfall?
Yeah, see, you look good.
All right. So without any further ado, let's get a copyright strike in immediately, right off the bat. Let's go to 1999. Do you remember this feeling? You're in the movie theater, everybody's got popcorn, and then a long time
Is this the
ago in a
movie?
galaxy far, far away, just whammy! Yeah, it's totally the movie.
Yeah. You should have played the teaser trailer.
Oh. Okay, fine. You want to do this? You want to run the stream? Is that what you want to do?
No, I'm just saying, like, because it was, we waited when the movies were announced. We were like, oh my gosh, just whatever we could find, whatever theory, what's it going to be about? We're going to see Anakin. How old is Anakin going to be? They released the greatest Star Wars poster ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's none better than the and you should have all this stuff ready, but he probably doesn't. The
Bro, I'm never bringing you back on.
the
here.
little Anakin walking with the shadow of Darth Vader. Everybody knows that poster. Everybody knows that poster.
it was in the movie.
That was the greatest movie poster ever, man. Like even any Star Wars poster you could pick, that's the best one. So you saw that and you were just waiting, man. You were waiting for the first teaser trailer.
Yeah.
You just wanted to know.
There was a whole different culture of hype around it, right? And I mean, I don't know, it's tough. Maybe it's just because I feel partial to it, but all of the stuff that I saw in the prequels, I mean, you had the Chinese theater in Hollywood front to back all the way down. It was almost back like it was 77. People were lined up everywhere. And not only that, but in your hometown, your movie theater was front to back. People had tents. There were dudes dressed up as Darth Maul. They didn't even know what he was going to do in the movie. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And we haven't even rolled the opening credits yet.
I don't think we need to.
Well, we're not going to do the crawl.
They'll take your stream down.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. But I mean, it all starts out with
All due respect, the ambassadors.
us showing up. I should probably just take the sound off. How about that? So we show up at Naboo. We start getting some crazy looking creatures right off the bat. The Newt Gunray. A lot of people said that was a slightly insensitive way to represent someone, but I never understood that. Like, Newt Gunray's an alien.
We kind of laughed at the voice a little bit, but we didn't really put it in perspective. I put the teaser trailer in the private chat.
You really want to watch the teaser trailer, huh?
That was because that was the beginning, man. That was the beginning. It was like the hype around it. Okay, we've got movies coming out. We're gonna hear the story. We're gonna see the story of Anakin. So the theories began. What are we gonna see? We're gonna see him as Darth Vader before the armor. Is he just gonna go crazy? What exactly are we gonna see? All we got was from the old films. We took little bits and pieces. How was Obi-Wan gonna work in this? You know, a young pupil of mine, you know, named Darth Vader, right?
Yep.
So it's like we had all. That's all we had to really go on. You know, and so you just wonder like how this is gonna happen. How did he turn? How did he get to the Emperor? What was going on in his mind? And how does Obi-Wan become his you know, it's like, how do we put all this stuff together?
A lot of questions.
Now that led to like some amazing talk. And so while we waited, man, I remember they were like, the teaser trailer was gonna be released in a movie called Meet Joe Black.
Oh my God, Matt Damon?
No.
Was that Matt
so
Damon? Who was it? No, Meet Joe Black.
It's embarrassing. It was the guy from Seven.
Brad Pitt?
It was a Brad Pitt movie, Meet Joe
thought it was
Black,
Matt
that no one's
Damon.
ever heard of and no one ever cares. But they advertised, if you go see Meet Joe Black, you can watch the Phantom Menace trailer before it's released on TV. So all we did, we bought tickets for Meet Joe Black. We didn't even finish the film. We saw the teaser trailer and we were like,
how old were you been? You don't have to out yourself, but
oh, I was in college, man.
oh, seriously? Oh my God, yeah, I was 10. I think I was 10. I wasn't going to see Meet Joe Black. I just remember a bridge scene with a guy in a black suit. That's all I remember. That's all I remember from Meet Joe Black. Okay, you want to get this teaser trailer out here?
Yeah.
We got audio here.
What are you talking about? I gave it to you to share. What are you doing? You're the host. Like, you're supposed to run this thing. What's going on here?
You can't hear it?
Did you share the audio?
Yeah. Coming through?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the MTT's coming over the hill.
And will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
We were like, what is that?
A communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
Oh, that's right. They put the scimitar in it.
Yeah.
At last we will reveal ourselves.
We're like, who's that? Who's that guy?
At last we will have revenge.
Begin landing your troops.
Oh my God,
Got
it's the
Palpatine
Emperor.
right off the bat. Yeah.
Who's that? Oh my God, it's Obi-Wan.
The Federation has gone too far.
The death toll is catastrophic.
Our people are dying, Senator. We must do something quickly.
You must contact me.
There is something else behind all this, Your Highness.
This is so
They will kill
great.
you if you
I'm getting
stay.
chills.
I can
Yeah,
only
this is
protect
great.
you. I can't fight a war for you.
I think we're going to have to accept Federation control for the time being.
This is a battle I do not think that we can win.
I will sign no treaty, Senator.
You said people going
Oh, the Wilhelm scream.
Once those droids
Yeah,
take control
right.
of the surface, they will take control of you.
Like, what is that thing? It's a
I was
frog
not
man.
elected to watch my people suffer and die while you discuss this invasion in a committee.
That was it, man. The first time we
Yeah.
saw like lightsaber stuff.
R2.
They will never get me.
They haven't released Maul's double lightsaber yet.
Always two. There are a master and an apprentice.
Right?
Oh.
They didn't do the double lightsaber yet. They only
Yeah.
teased us the one. There's the one again. It was the double. There it was,
Wow,
right
there it
there.
was.
That's when we were all like, "What the freak is that?" Oh man, it was awesome.
All of them.
All of that. Oh. Yeah, so that's what we got, and we were just like, we saw a double saber, we saw this, we saw that, and then the theories were all over the place.
Dude, they don't make them like they used to. Oh my God. It just got me so excited. I already know how it ends.
So, and then I had a major issue because I would like where you are today with Star Wars. That was me. I bought everything as immediately as I get out the games, everything. Lucasfilm made a huge mistake with the Phantom Menace, and I was the brunt of it.
Okay.
They released the soundtrack 10 days before the movie.
Oh, Qui-Gon's theme.
Yeah, Qui-Gon's death. Yeah. Or it was like Qui-Gon's funeral or something like that. And that was one of the names of the it kind of ruined the movie for a lot of people. You're like, oh dude, this guy named Qui-Gon dies, like that's weird. Maybe he's in it for 5 minutes, you know. And then you're like, when you watch the film, you're like, oh man, that's Qui-Gon. Oh, he dies in this. You're like,
I wonder how much, dude, the guy who put that out must have caught some crap, right? They're in the boardroom, you're like, are you kidding me?
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of retarded.
And Ivan was right too. The novel was also out before the film, and I had the novel, but I didn't want to read it till after.
That's what it was.
Till Qui-Gon's noble end, So that kind of ruined it. But you know, you had to have the soundtrack. It was John Williams. All you had was the original trilogy, the Indiana Jones, the Superman, the Jaws. It just, you had to have it. So it's like, as soon as we bought it, we put it in. And Duel of Fates, man. Freaking Duel of Fates. So it was
one of the most iconic pieces.
X-Wing, your music is too loud. Everyone's telling you that
I turned it down.
I don't know why you play that. It's annoying.
I can't function without music. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
my skin crawls when I'm in a stream and there's like no background music. It kills me.
Embrace it, man.
Might be on the spectrum. I'm not gonna lie. All right, TPM sucks. 2 Star Wars nerds. I don't believe that for a minute. You and I have sat and spoken ad nauseum about this film. I know he loves it. It gets.
I don't care. There's when the prequels came out, the people that are the originals just thought it was god awful, terrible, because it was at a unique time in movie making where CGI was kind of new, and George Lucas we can all agree he overstepped in it. Like, he just filmed the CGI. Like, he just went into that technology. It's not what it is today. If they had filmed the prequels today, same story, I'll even take the same, script, the way it probably would look a lot different.
But it still holds up to this day. A lot of it does. A lot of it does, man.
Awesome, man.
I mean, it's 90. This was the 1900s. For all you kids out there that don't remember,
1999, right?
It was the 1900s, and just like James Cameron, this guy was doing stuff that you would never even imagine in your wildest dreams that you could put on screen. I mean, it was incredible. This was absolutely incredible, and they did a beautiful mix of models. And it was just like the original trilogy. They did more of a mix, I feel like, in this movie than they did in the following movies for practical effects. But they're so seamless. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think there was in some of the lightsaber duels, it was fantastic. Some of the other scenes with the Gundams, and it was
Gundams.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Sorry.
This is a cool little tidbit. This ship right here, that was the original design for the Tantive 4 by Joe Johnson in the early 70s. The only thing they did was change out the cockpit. But yeah, that's what the original
Jar Jar
Tantive
Binks
looked like.
people.
Gums.
Yeah, they that looked a little too much, but at the time it didn't matter. For me, it didn't matter. This was like the opening scene to see a Jedi at work for the first time. Was
real Jedi.
Pretty it was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It was freaking awesome. And then it's like, they won't get through the blast door. And it's like, Qui-Gon sticks the saber in and twists it.
Just starts melting it.
They're still coming through. I thought it was freaking awesome, man.
I think that's my biggest memory was I had watched the original trilogy. I loved Star Wars, but I was a freaking child. And then 1999, this comes out, and it's like this mysterious order of space knights. And now we get 2 of the most bamf dudes in the galaxy. and they're on a completely, overrun base, and they're just walking around like they don't give a shit about anything. They're blasting holes in doors. They're running through the hallways using force speed. Like, they look good in their cloaks and everything. It just felt, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. It felt epic. It felt very epic. And not to mention, like, one of the first scenes, the good guys get absolutely roasted.
Yeah.
Like, they blow apart a practical model, and then there it is.
Well, you're still trying to figure out how, because the beauty of the prequels is you know what's coming. Anakin becomes Vader, and the Empire take over. So it's like, how do we get to this point? How do we get to this point? So even through this first film, you got the Jedi like, there's something wrong here. Why would they attack? Like even the Jedi were confused. They're like, what's going on here? There's something bigger behind this. What? I don't understand this. Like, why Naboo? Why this? Why that? And so it still kind of left you with okay, something is. It wasn't until the Attack of the Clones where, well, for most people, it was like, okay, we see what's going on here. It's like the Emperor is trying to put a war so he can get some clone troopers so he could just be voted into power. And once he's voted into power and he's got the troopers and he's got everything, he just takes over. It was a mastermind of taking over an entire galaxy, and he played it perfectly.
Yep.
He did it perfectly. He killed the right people. Remember, like, I mean, not to go off script, but Plagueis was like getting them going, and
Jay's talking my language. Okay.
Dude, it's Darth Plagueis is one of the greatest EU books. If you read Darth Plagueis, you will fall in love with the Phantom Menace even more.
Yeah. I can't imagine reading that book and not enjoying what you've been through. I mean, there is a part that's kind of crazy. Palpatine pulls a heart out and like eats it raw, which is pretty nuts. But I mean, it adds so much weight to his plan. Everything that he was really looking to do, and especially it adds to the Phantom Menace too, because when you go back and you watch, you have kind of a little bit of a prequel to a prequel in your mind about Palpatine, and when he sees Anakin, he already knows who he is. He already knows what he wants to do with him.
Plagueis on Amazon, the audiobook, they redid it a few years ago, is amazing. They got the sound effects, they got the music, they got
The
voice actors.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
hot.
so freaking good. Like, I could listen to it on a long drive and never put it down. It's really good. The
this is a really good point. Why do these sabers look perfect?
Exactly.
They're perfect. Why is it perfect?
They don't need to be all super fancy. They just need to be what they are.
It's a beam of light. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
But
they look so
and that's the
good.
beauty of it. It's a beam of light, but they're so freaking powerful.
Yeah.
They don't need anything cool. They don't need any. You're right. They don't need anything else to go with it.
And what's weird too is like I've noticed in some of the newer stuff when you're watching it, like the sabers reflect a bunch of light onto the actors' faces. And that didn't seem to be a thing unless it was like a very dramatic moment in the movie. So like here, it'd be obviously you're gonna reflect some light on it, but I mean when you're in the stills, it doesn't really bathe a bunch of light because it was added in post. So
also I appreciate
Roger.
Well, I appreciate the fact that even some people probably didn't like this, but I did. George Lucas figured out a way to show Jedi destruction without like killing people.
Battle droids, baby.
You have the battle droids. And with battle droids, you could go in so many different. I mean, I thought it was a brilliant idea. He's like, we can make all kinds of battle droids, bigger ones, small ones with little shields, all kind of things. And
Bro, could you imagine if this was humans?
I mean, even if it was like
people in half and lopping heads off.
That's what I'm saying, like arms and stuff. He probably wouldn't go that extreme. When they were fighting the clones and stuff, it was really just like Jango Fett was like the last. He probably had it worse on screen than and Anakin got his arm cut off and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it
they still did it. They still did it. I mean, you had Dooku. Dooku got his head lopped off. You had Anakin had his arm lopped off. That there's dismembering for sure. That reminds you that every single time you swing that thing, it's a potentially fatal blow. But this was really the first time that we saw,
not a Disney Star Wars.
Not in Disney Star Wars. This was the first time that we saw Jedi in action. You know, they've gone up the ventilation shaft. I'll never forget that line when I see that guy. But it was just so cool. That was so cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I love the battle droids, because it was perfect for what they were doing, to show off what Jedi were.
Look at how cool that is, man.
And how calm they were when doing it, you know.
Chilling. Yeah.
Your stream's gonna get taken down.
Whatever. I don't even care. We're here to enjoy
It's gonna go down live, is what I'm saying. Is like
we're here to enjoy. We're here to enjoy. If they try to take it down, whatever.
No, it's not whatever.
It's whatever.
You want
this
people
is just,
bro. You want people to enjoy it with us, not, you know.
And then we get the girl, Padmé. Originally portrayed by Jennifer Lawrence and then later recast as Natalie Portman. This was a wild choice by George, dude. Like crazy oriental robes with white. It's very like geisha. You know what I mean? It seemed very Japanese. I felt
again, like it fit the planet and everything perfectly.
Yeah.
I thought it just fit everything perfectly. And the fact that there was a disguise and all that stuff like that as well. So I think it worked out. I think it worked out great.
He just had this way of kind of threading the line between something that looked familiar without making it earthbound. That's the only way I know how to describe how he did his cultures and his people and everything. There was just something. It threaded that plane between like the known and the unknown. It was familiar enough that it didn't feel out of place.
The original ones was like inspired by samurais and stuff like that. So why wouldn't he have, things like that put into the films?
Yeah.
So
I'm just talking about like even just the costume. You're like, oh, that could be like like an Oriental, Japanese, Chinese, somewhere around there. But also, it doesn't not anything I've seen before.
No, he didn't go with the typical. I'm the queen. Here's my crown.
Yeah, it wasn't a European queen,
right?
Yeah, which was dope. And then these guys, which I love the Nemoidians. I hate that people hate on the Nemoidians so much. They're like, that's racist. I'm like, you get the fuck.
What? Yeah. No, I love them too. In episode 3, Viceroy Gunry comes to full circle with Anakin Skywalker.
Finally.
He's like, the war is over. There's never be peace. Doesn't even answer him out.
Anakin's like, I lied. All right. Yeah, I thought they did such a good job with the Nemoidians. It just feels so disrespectful to the people that like they worked their butts off making like the most convincing alien face in the world with like the most insane eyes. And you're like, that's racist. Get the heck out of here. They're so cool looking.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Palpatine was able to convince them into starting a fictitious war.
Yeah.
That when you got to Coruscant in this film, when the queen got to Coruscant, people were just like, we'll send a committee to Naboo to check it out.
Yeah,
they didn't even care or believe it. They were just, and she's like, my people are dying. Like, we've got transmission, we've got this, we've got that.
Got the evidence.
And the whole politicians, I thought that was really cool. They're just like, no, like we'll just send a committee. And she's like, I can't be around here while you discuss this in a committee. And it just played right into the Emperor's, right into Palpatine's hands. He's like,
well,
hey,
they psyched him in the beginning though, remember? Because they were like, bro, your plan failed. We can't face the Jedi. And he's like, I don't ever want to see this slime.
Yeah, he's like, get him out of my face.
The plans have been advanced. Send troops to the ground. So,
and then you see Darth Maul. He just kind of,
yeah.
And they're like,
chilling.
Oh my God, now there's 2 of them.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
But it's just wild. Like when they're in Coruscant, Palpatine's like, well, you can vote for no confidence. So the bureaucrats, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Dude, he's a mastermind. He's a mastermind. It's a perfect.
Awesome.
I don't know if the other authors just like played it up perfectly for it to, but I mean, this has been a plan that has been in place. You're talking about thousands of years. Palpatine's just the one that's the.
He was chosen. He was chosen to take over, for the Sith to lead again.
I can't
there
believe
he
how
is.
Beautiful these sets were, dude. So incredible. Okay, I got something weird to ask you. So, a lot of times when I watch, like, if I'm watching a Disney Plus show or something like that, the sets and this is hard to explain. It almost feels like too realistic. Like it's too HD. It's too 4K. You know what I mean? But when you're looking at this, it seems just kind of like not HD enough that it feels like a movie. Is anything I'm saying making sense?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes like when they it's maybe if I'm talking about the same thing, it's called the soap opera effect that happens when it's super right. So it's called like smoothing. Avatar, the recent release of Avatar 2 had an issue with that in some theaters, that it was just like too much, and you're like, it just didn't look good. It didn't look, the high frame rates in the 4Ks and stuff. This was filmed perfectly for the movie theater. That made it look like a movie, at least for the movies that we saw in this time. When they re-released the original trilogy in high definition, and even though I enjoyed it, it was a little weird because you could see thumbprints on R2-D2. You could see a lot of the grease stuff that you probably weren't supposed to see in the original trilogy, because it was like, now the high definition is it's right in front of your face.
That's half the love, though, right? I mean, that's kind of the love of the whole thing. It makes it human.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean,
Eddie said there is a setting you could fix it. Each TV is different, but
yeah. Some people were saying like hertz rates and stuff like that, but
right.
I'm more where two Star Wars is talking about. Like, this was done on film, and I think it was either 30 frames or 24 frames a second. It's like the standard, right, for filming. And frame rate has a big thing to do with it, but I mean, everything's filmed in freaking 1080p, 60 frames a second. Here's the expert.
Now. It's like 8K.
He was still using VistaVision cameras from the 50s for digital effects. That's so badass, man. And he was able to do this. Beautiful. So then, after we meet the Emperor, the fateful moment in the Phantom Menace happens, where George took a gamble and lost a lot of people.
Yeah, Jar Jar was annoying.
Jar Jar Binks.
The thing is, though, Jar Jar was a little annoying. I think he could have been less annoying if whoever wrote the dialogue for Jar Jar and Anakin in this film was pretty bad. It was like an older gentleman trying to. He had help, but I'm just saying, like, as an older gentleman trying to write for a child, like when Anakin's like yippee, like that was like kind of,
the yippee was kind of rough,
right? And then you had Jar Jar saying stuff like "excuse me," so stuff like that. I didn't think I think Jar Jar was supposed to take the place of C-3PO, like the C-3PO
he was the comic
character.
relief,
right?
Yeah.
And so when they were, when he's freaking out like by the big Goomba fish, and they finally like
goober fish,
they put his hand on him, and he just kind of, the Force zaps him out.
Yeah, he gives him 50 cc's of freaking Jedi drugs and just drops him.
But it is cool that Jar Jar came back full circle and became a general. But even still, even in that final battle, it was like the gun got stuck to his leg, and he's taking out battle droids.
Yeah.
So all that stuff was kind of.
Do you have anything to weigh in on the Darth Jar Jar Sith theory?
No, I think it's dumb. I think Jar Jar was not smart, and every decision he tried to make, which he thought was going to be smart, led to more issues. The fact that they made him a senator,
that's the craziest part of the prequels for me.
Makes him my hero, because that means anyone can achieve
Jay's like, that's my hero.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
Jar Jar was credited for the biggest mistake in Star Wars history, you know?
What's the biggest mistake?
Voting for the Palpatine in episode 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he kind of, maybe he is a Sith. Yeah, he ruined the whole thing. Is it better be smart or lucky? Oh, here's a controversial opinion.
I think 3PO is more annoying than Jar Jar. I think in Empire Strikes Back, maybe, yeah.
I'm a hard disagree, man. I'm a hard disagree. It's kind of tough, man, because, you know, it's like everything with a mod best. I mean, we saw somebody really go through some really bad stuff with a mod best, and we're talking pre-social media days, went through some bad stuff.
Not only him, but Jake Lloyd, too.
Jake Lloyd had it bad. And it's still to this day, it pains me like crazy when you see interviews of him when he's like 16 or 17, and they're like, Jake Lloyd, you're Anakin from Star Wars. And he's like, purple bags. And just like, yeah.
I got to meet him at Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, and he was in the parade. And me and my brother were there, and he was pretty amazingly happy and
really
shaking hands with everyone.
Yes.
And yeah, it was not, I mean, maybe because he was getting paid a lot of money, I don't know, but he was very, he sat on stage and talked a little bit, and he seemed like he had a great time.
That makes me so happy. Like,
and he was making all the jokes. He's like, yeah, every time someone sees me in a car, people scream, and that's pod racing. Yes, they asked me this. Yes, they asked if I took this home. Yes. And so he just kind of went through all that. He's in jail right now, I think.
Oh, that took a turn.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he's doing okay.
He got into a pretty bad drunken car accident. Someone can correct me in the chat if I was wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Dude, I was a Jar Jar fan. I had like 6 Jar Jar figures when I was a kid.
I didn't hate Jar Jar Binks. It just was, this is all right. So this was the problem with the Phantom. That's not a problem. Someone can Google that for me and make sure I'm correct. I don't want to bring out false information. They had the annoying Jar Jar during the war. And then when George would go back to the lightsaber duel, and you wanted to watch the lightsaber duel. You wanted to see. You saw a double blade. There's Darth Maul. Holy crap! Is he going to be better than Vader? Da da da. Are we going to see Anakin fight Darth Maul? Are we going to see this? And then they would cut the lightsaber and go back to Jar Jar. And you're like, okay, I don't
mean they're in danger. You're like, no, the most intense thing in the world is happening right now. Please stop.
Exactly. So it's like he had a bad steak, you know, a bad steak. He had a bad shake, and you're like, I don't want to see Jar Jar go back to the lightsaber. So like I think that's another reason why I got people aggravated.
We haven't gotten there yet. We got a lot of movie to go.
Yeah. All right.
So then we go to Oto Gunga. I thought this was badass. This is so cool. Somebody dreamed this up and then built it.
I thought it was cool, but there was a lot of questions how that functioned with Naboo if people were fishing and had like small boats, and then like there's these giant creatures that live so far under the water.
That's too far, dude. That's taking it too far. You know what I mean?
That's
That's taking it. No, what I'm saying is like that's taking it to like Star Trek level, right? People are like, how can you add 6 hypercores to one ship? It's not going to be stable.
No, it wasn't all
Like,
that. I
this
just had
is
one
too much.
thing. Imagine your son is out there fishing in Naboo and that giant freaking dinosaur just snatches him.
They live in the core.
In the planet core?
Yeah, they live in the core. They don't live by Otogunga. They wouldn't build a freaking city right next to that big old buff-ass naked catfish or whatever the hell that thing was.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish. There was a video that came out not too long ago of a guy who does deep fakes. And he's like, Qui-Gon, that was the dumbest thing you've ever said. What do you mean there's always a bigger fish? Well, I mean, there's always going to be one biggest fish, but every other fish, there's always a bigger fish. Then we got
80
Boss
people
Nass.
in here. Hey, do us a favor and hit the like button, please. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Better YouTuber than I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty bad at this stuff. But yeah, beautiful. Most amazing part is we're talking about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
It's 24 years old, and there's still so much love for this film. There's still so much love for George's Star Wars. And the bongo. Did you have a bongo toy?
No.
Spencer says he's not going to like the stream. That's fine. You don't have to if you don't want to. I had a bongo.
I wanted like the FX lightsabers.
Hold
like
up.
so I was just trying to buy all the FX lightsabers. She's lying.
I don't think she's lying. I think she's telling the truth. I think she's telling the truth. You're not gonna do Boss Nass?
No.
The people want it.
Nobody wants that.
Everybody wants it. What are you talking about? Give me one in the chat if you want to see a freaking Jay Boss Nass impression.
I've never done Boss Nass in my life.
I don't believe you. I feel like you do it.
I like this. That's what I say after I get a nice pizza. Misa like this.
You fucking nerd.
Used to be Bomba General.
Oh, dude, he does a good Boss Nass. All right, let it be known. Jay is Boss Nass. If you need a fan casting for a fan film moving forward, look for Drunk3PO.
Yeah, I can't shake my head and do that gurgle thing. That's pushing it.
Oh my!
I know that's
God.
what everybody wanted to see. They wanted that one.
I think I do it pretty good.
It's all yours.
So then we move into the planet core. I'm sorry, all I can think about is that now. Move into the planet core. Got a big old goober fish. We don't have to go over all this stuff, man. I think we should move into
I like that they named his the first guard Banaka. I kept thinking about like
Hanaka. You're talking about the breast spray?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's Hanaka.
I know, but I kept hearing Banaka, like the spray, and I'm like, that's all I could think about every time they said his name.
Does Banaka still exist? I don't even think that's a thing anymore.
I don't
Banaka,
know, man. My dad used to have that stuff in his pocket, so
yeah, there goes the Nubian. This was probably my favorite part. Well, I don't know. This is like my favorite fan service moment, I think, was boom.
The droids.
What a great way to introduce R2-D2 into the prequels.
That means R2 is Nubian.
Nubian. Yeah,
R2 is. Oh man, but man, his friends didn't make it, bro. They all went out. They all went out on the ship.
Yeah.
They all went out on the ship and they all got blown up. And then then you get into some of the cheesy lines. That little droid, he did it.
We did it.
And then it's like, yeah, here they come.
Dude, this was such a great scene for me. I'm like, oh, that's why you have astromechs, because they roll out on your ship and they fix stuff.
Yeah,
that's an astromech. Like, okay, great scene.
Yeah,
and then they're just
excellent scene.
Wow,
like we're losing droids.
They got to carry a bank of 12 of those things.
Yeah. Oh, there goes R5.
Yeah.
And then the signature R2-D2 look, look back. I got this. And they're like,
just so badass.
Oh my God, the droid.
Power's back. He did it. That little droid did it. It's just, it's so classic. And I find it so funny that they just try to avoid kind of this like super campy Star Wars feeling. I miss it so much, man.
No, it's really
so
good.
Great.
And then the other cheesy line, they're like, yeah, we got to thank this droid. What's his name? It's R2-D2. We're like, oh, man. So R2-D2 was Nubian and C-3PO was from Tatooine. Darth Vader. So a lot of people had an issue with the fact that Darth Vader made C-3PO.
Yeah,
they were just kind of like, that's kind of cheesy way to bring C-3PO into this universe.
This is a great little segue, by the way. We go into the shop here, and we get Watto.
Well, we find out that the ship can't make it back because they need to get a part, and the only place they can
Hyperdrive is
land
busted.
they can only land on Tatooine. And so now that it's now that they're on Tatooine, they're like, we can't bring the queen here. The Hutts are gangsters.
Well, the queen would disagree.
Yeah. So then you're like, well, my mindset's like, well, he's a Jedi. He's going to go in, do the mind trick, get the part, and leave. Yeah, it's triggering mine too. I'm afraid it's just going to like shut off like halfway through. And this is probably a stream that will do well for this channel if he, runs it smart, because a lot of people like some positive Star Wars.
I don't run it smart, man. I like to have fun. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. And but then he shows up and Waddle's like, can't use the mind trick, can't use Republic credits.
I need something more real.
So now you're like, how are they gonna get out of this one? Enter Anakin Skywalker. Our first look at Darth Vader.
Here he comes. Oh no, we're missing the where is that one scene where he's tripping around in the backyard? You're gonna like this. There's a little nugget here. It's coming right up. I'm gonna pause just for a second. Gonna pause. Are you an angel? What? Sorry, I can quote the whole freaking thing front to back.
Of course. That was the best Star Wars pickup line. Are you an angel?
Dude.
What?
I thought he was great. He's like a total shithead little kid.
He's a slave.
Yeah, he's
how
perfect.
How else is he supposed to act?
And right there. Okay.
Yeah, there's C-3PO.
C-3PO missing his leg. Missing his little leg. How perfect. Friggin' pit droids, man. Did you ever play that? Did you play the Pod Racer game on N64?
We played the Pod Racer game at an arcade.
Oh, the big one with the
big
handles.
Ones. So where I was living in Miami at the time, and there was an arcade not too far from the theater that had 6 of them next to each other. So
oh
it was
my God,
like
you could race each other.
Yeah, and it was like you're sitting in it, But that game is hard. Even the one on N64, it's not easy.
If you suck, it's tough.
You just want to hit the gas and like you're fine, and you're like, no, you're not fine. Like it's freaking hard, man.
I just wanted to bring up that
Disney shut the stream down. I told you, X-Wing. I freaking
That's not shut down. No,
everyone's
still going.
saying it. It's gone. The stream is shut down. Disney took it down. I told you, X-Wing, this could be so good for your channel, man. We got to do it right. I told you they were going to shut it down. It's gone. It's unavailable. Yep, it's shut down. Make a new room. Don't show the movie. Let's just talk through it. Don't show the movie.
Fucking serious?
Yeah, dude, you're gonna get a strike on your channel, bro. Like, don't do that. Like this is good. This is good for you.
I have done this so many times and never once had a problem.
They get you for the Phantom Menace. They will get you for these Star Wars films, dude.
Wow.
Look at everyone in the chat. They're all upset. Make another stream. Just talk the same thing. Just say the Star Wars we love, Phantom Menace. You don't even have to say featuring Drunk3PO. People will come back. They'll come back. Can you do that real quick?
I'm screaming right now.
Yeah.
We're going. Dude, what the fuck?
I knew that was coming, man. Yeah, you just don't get a copy claim on these things. Like I don't want them to strike your channel. This is gonna be good. People are freaking loving it, dude. You almost have 100 people in here.
Yeah, it's going fine. Upload thumbnail. There we go. All I gotta do is just grab this.
You gotta make a new StreamYards.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right.
I'm just gonna grab the description from the beginning. Oh, dude, we're live right now. I'm looking at it.
We're back up.
We're back up. Not even kidding. We're live.
Wow. Yeah, I see it.
We're live.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your generous contribution to
X-Wing.
Thank you.
I was like, you guys missed it. I was freaking yelling at X-Wing saying,
It's
I
like,
told you they're taking the string down. What's
stupid
wrong
asshole.
with you?
What do you think that was? Was that like a warning shot across the bow?
Yeah,
They're like, bro, I'm telling
I'd
you.
probably take the movie down.
I can share screen grabs though. Just stop playing it. Just stop playing it. I like looking at it. I can't even believe they took me down and put me back up. Do you think somebody at like at YouTube was like, nah, they're not doing anything bad?
I don't know.
Dang, you didn't even mention the Project Veritas Pfizer video.
Did you get the can you check your email? I don't want you to have a strike on the channel.
Oh, just acted out. Nice while it lasted. No audio.
Yeah, because
Is it gone again?
I don't want you to lose your channel over this. No, you're still up.
I don't know what to do. Are we good?
Yeah, I would just take the movie down.
Ugh, fine.
This is we're good.
Damn you, Mickey. I'm giving you free press right now.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
All right.
Yeah, the super chat.
I got a freaking bio break. Bad. Ronnie for $4.99. Solo is a much better Star Wars movie than The Phantom Menace.
Well, anyone with a Barney dinosaur avatar in their name proves that they should not be taken seriously.
Shit, I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you that. Like,
Stay in school, Ronnie. That's all I can say. Just stay in school. All right. Education is the most important thing in the world. Can you hold it down for a few seconds? I got a bio break, dude. I can't help it. I gotta.
And of course, he blows me up. The one thing I told him not to do when he's experiencing diarrhea. So there we go. Much better.
Okay, fine. I'll leave you here.
Yeah, you too, man. I didn't want him to lose the stream because it's like poor X-Wing. You know, so much Star Wars drama out there. It's like, man, I'd love to do something with you where we can talk more positively about good Star Wars and not all the drama. Because if you want to talk drama, you could find it every day. Every day. I think the biggest thing for me, and I've shared this multiple times before, is the reason why the prequels mean more to me than the original. I never saw the originals in the theater. I was never able to watch them in the theater. But they sold the tickets a week or 2 weeks in advance, and you couldn't buy them on your phone like you can today. So many of us from college sat outside. It was about 75 of us, and we camped out for a few days to get tickets. And it was pretty awesome. I think that was the most fun I had as a Star Wars fan, not one, but all three films. And it was like, I'd never seen anything. I was better than any Star Wars convention. It was better than anything. And we just stayed there for 3 days waiting. They had police out there. They knew that was going to happen. The news media showed up several times. They had all kinds of stuff, but people like went out and they would buy cheeseburgers for everybody. People brought coffee. People, they were like, hey, I'm going to go home and take a shower and come back. They're like, yeah, we'll save your place in line. And once we got the tickets, we came back when the movie and we saw everybody again. And it was people from all walks of life. And it was awesome. And we came out and we just talked Star Wars, and we're like, we'll see you in 2 years for Attack of the Clones when we camp out again. It was unbelievable.
What did you say?
I was telling them, I said, to get tickets to the Phantom Menace.
Why are you slumming? You don't have better options. Hey, your X-Wings make a wish.
I don't,
You're,
dude.
you're so benevolent.
I didn't say anything. I have no idea what they're freaking talking about. So I was talking about when I camped out for tickets for the Phantom Menace. So,
well, I mean, look, this was the biggest thing in Hollywood since God knows when, right?
Yeah, it was overhyped to where I think it could have been a perfect film and it wouldn't have been good enough.
Yeah.
Because number one, people wanted more. Number two, you gave us a villain that wield a double lightsaber and you killed him off.
And you killed him.
And we were all just like, no, man, let him be we thought he was going to be the villain throughout all three. He was going to be the Darth Vader character, you know? And the one thing that we were missing from the Phantom Menace was the Han Solo character. We didn't really have a Han Solo character that had that a little bit of comic relief, that was a little rough around the edges, because the Jedi were Jedi, you know, they were calm, they were this, and so those are some of the things that were missed. But overall, man, the movie was, I mean, listen, these are small nitpicks on something that I loved.
Yeah,
I saw it at midnight. Went home at
the most though. It's a period piece. Like, it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be like, this is the death of the way that things used to be. It's a Shakespearean kind of, like, you know, this stuff is not going to last. It seems all very formal and weird, and it's all very like egalitarian and stuff like that, and it all comes crumbling down. I think that was kind of the point of it.
But you know what was cool that we didn't have so much is it introduced a whole new set of video games. Legos, toys, comic books, things like that. So as a Star Wars fan, it was like peak. You know, it was like, hey, don't forget, get the Phantom Menace game. All right, get this Jedi game, get this book, get these comics that have little stories off to the side. And it was just like, get these Legos, get these toys, get these man, it was freaking awesome.
I will never forget the red hallway. That was my favorite thing in the world. Is you would walk into it. It didn't matter if it was a Target, a Toys R Us, Walmart, whatever it was, whatever store you walked into, they had the red hallway, and it was the red floor, and then it was the Phantom Menace figures lined up from front. It was at least an aisle, if not two, of every single thing you could have bought from that movie, and I still have like 20 of these lined up on my wall. It's just like, and it came with the Comtech figures and the chips. And my favorite part was, and it was something they said early on, was that the Comtech that Qui-Gon was holding was like a lady's razor, and they just spray painted it and weathered it. And it was like, oh my God, that's a Jedi comlink. And Venus is like, you owe us money.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. That was the thing. That was the spirit of the original trilogy that I loved, that they really did bring into the prequel trilogy.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. Was the movie released in May or December?
It was May 25th, wasn't it?
Was it May or December? I can't remember.
Phantom Menace.
Because weren't the
date?
It was in May. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
May 19th, not the 25th.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
19th. Yeah. So then
May 19th.
So then we leave. I was having a lot of fun going through the movie, man. I hate that they did that. It's really pooped in my breakfast cereal. I was really enjoying that.
Did you not remember the movie in your brain?
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't watched it in like 2 months. I like to go back and look at all
I watched it right before, like, getting ready for the stream.
Did you?
So then we go back, and Qui-Gon's like, there's something's going on here while the Force is keeping us here. And little Annie's like, well, the only thing that people like is or Annie's mom, like gambling. Gambling is their weakness. And then Anakin's like, well, I got a pod racer, fastest ever built, that could win. So now we're introduced to pod racing.
I'm trying to find the scene. Right.
X-Wing's so frustrated.
You're good. I keep thinking about, like, I see Tatooine and I see all the stuff going on. I'm like, man, a Galaxy's Edge with this would have just been so dope. So dope.
It would have been. It's so easy to do. It's like somebody else takes over and they're like, we're gonna change Galaxy's Edge and make it Tatooine. It's literally 2 dials on a turn. It's that
Dude,
simple.
build some mud huts and you're square. Like you're
They
good to
have
go.
them already. They
Easy.
have everything. It's just that's all they got to do.
Yeah, they're sitting at the.
They sell banana flavored popcorn at Galaxy's Edge and call it Star Wars.
Ooh, I didn't get that when I was there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Ugh. I wasn't
It
even really a
sucks.
fan of the blue milk, to be honest with you. I didn't like either of the milks.
I didn't like the milk either.
They were a little snotty. But in Florida, they put rum in it, so it was manageable at least.
How is Mahler able to have long segments of the show or movie play? Yeah, he has like a buffer over the screen.
Oh, like a blur or something? Yeah, that's smart. This guy just wants to see our stream taken down.
Yeah, don't do that because you end up getting a strike. Then you won't be able to stream for like a month or 2 months. And then,
Seriously?
Yeah,
It
strikes
didn't
are
happen when
serious.
Kathia struck my channel.
Yeah, you didn't do that during a live stream.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, so if you do it during a live stream, it prohibits you from going live.
So, anywho, we go back. Obviously, we're having the dinner conversation with Shmi Skywalker, and then one of the most, what some people would say, the worst things that's ever happened to Star Wars happens. The midichlorian count comes out.
Mm.
A lot of people were really mad about the midichlorian count.
I didn't
Does
like
that
it
upset
either.
you?
I
You
wasn't
didn't like
a
it?
fan.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan, but like now I'm not bothered by it. Listen, you have to understand. There's so much hype. Star Wars is back. We've watched the original trilogy 80 million times. All we know about the Force is what Yoda was trying to teach Luke. That's all we know. That's what we think is going to happen. We know Darth Vader was trained by the Sith, but we never saw any of that. The only Force powers that we've seen is a couple mind tricks done by Obi-Wan, some Force lightning by the bad guys,
Nothing
and some
crazy.
lightsaber skills. That's
Yeah.
like it, man. Right? So now they're dumping all kinds of stuff with us. Midichlorian, this and that, and this and that. And I mean, it's like we're trying to process it all like really quick. So
I can share stills, right?
do what you want to do, man.
It's just stills.
Okay.
They're gonna get mad at stills?
Go ahead.
I feel like you're tempting me to do it, and then you're like, "Oh, see, when your stream gets taken down, you dummy." I told you about it.
I just think we can do it without the stills.
I know. The visual. I'm a very visual person. I like looking at this stuff. Yeah, I don't know. For me, midichlorians, it was like, it's kind of this different face of the same coin, right? So midichlorians, I mean, if you got rid of midichlorians and you were like, well, the Skywalker family is special. Like, why? Because they're strong in the Force. Well, why? I don't know, because they have a bunch of midichlorians. Well, what about other people? They have less midichlorians. Like, it just didn't, I don't know. It didn't really
I think it
mess
just
up
came
for me.
across. It's like when they did Anakin, they're like, that's more than Master Yoda.
Yeah.
You know? So it was kind of a quick way to say he's probably the chosen one because his midichlorians are more than Yoda.
He's got big numbers, guys.
So it's like okay, we can move the story on a little quicker. It's like
I can see that. It's a little cheap, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So that's a nitpick.
I think if they didn't have the midichlorians, that he could have still, but see, it was the midichlorians that allowed Qui-Gon to let him race because humans aren't supposed to race in the pod. Like no humans survive pod racing. So I believe that he saw that and he was like, all right, well, we'll go ahead and let's see what he does in the race, you know, and things like that. Because if he didn't know those things, he probably would have taken the Jedi way and not put a young boy's life at risk.
Yeah,
you know,
probably a fair estimate for sure.
So that's probably, or Qui-Gon would have tried to drive it himself. So he could have won. He could have just gotten next to the guy and like,
dude, yeah, you just would have like force pulled off their engines. Like, screw you guys.
Yeah, but then so then we get to the pod race, and I loved the pod race scene. You know what I mean?
You're preaching to the choir here. You're preaching to the choir.
I loved it. I love that they threw in the little Jawa sound effect.
Teeny.
I loved it. I didn't
got
like
Ara
the
Singh
announcement.
in there.
Huh?
Ara Singh was in there, which was dope.
I just didn't like the announcers. I didn't like the announcers.
What could they have done that would have been better for you?
Just kept it in an alien voice. I think we knew exactly what was going on.
Okay. So less galactic basic.
I think it was just like they were trying to be Howard Cosell.
Okay.
You know, and I was like, that was a little much. You could see what's going on, and like the guy that was doing in the alien voice, I think was just fine. So, and that was also the first fart scene in a Star Wars film.
It was a fart scene, and there have been memes galore from the fart from that freaking. Oh my gosh, I can remember it every time. Every time I remember the name of that freaking creature, Obi-Wan Road One. I want to call it Mikey Potty. That's not the right word.
I thought I was like, I couldn't believe it. I
gonna
was
drive me
like,
nuts.
yes, George Lucas has given us farts in Star Wars. And of course,
That's what you were happy about?
It happens
Eope.
to.
It's an Eope.
It happens to Jar Jar Binks.
I see my. This is my little brother, not by blood, but my little brother. I've known this guy a very, very long time.
He doesn't like a lot of people.
Who doesn't
like
love
the
the pod racing
racing.
scene? It doesn't make sense in my brain. My brain can't quantify how that's not dope to every dude in the world. Like, you got the most gnarly engine in the world held together by a freaking power coupling, and you're going at whiskey throttle, just absolutely mind-bleeding speeds, racing for the cup. Who doesn't like that?
You know, a lot of people found Jake Lloyd very annoying as Anakin because a lot of people don't like children in films, you know? So it's like they found him kind of annoying. Some of his dialogue was pretty bad. I don't blame the actor. They were just doing what they were told. But I thought pod racing was
who cares about
great.
the kid? I'm talking about the pod racers.
I know, but it's all mixed in because the kid was in it.
Yeah,
I loved the other guy's pod race. It was like
Sebulba's pod racer.
Oh, Sebulba was freaking sick.
Yeah, and it was so fun too. Like, you know, once you go back and you play the N64 pod racing game, and then you know everybody's name, you're like, oh, that's Dud Bolt. Like, oh, that's Gascano. You know all the guys.
And they were kind of, it was kind of silly, you know. They had some silliness to some of the creatures, and like I said, they added a fart scene. They added all that.
The Eope farting was pre-pod race scene, though. I don't consider
it was
that
all
part of
in the same scene, though. It was all part of it. You had Jabba the Hutt fall asleep.
Yeah,
and it was a weird looking, like, you know, the weird looking CGI Jabba the Hutt, and you're kind of like, huh.
And Gardula the Hutt too.
Yeah, she was there.
Gardula.
And but Jabba had one of my favorite scenes though, like when that little creature was crawling and he just flicked him off the
front.
And Willow was in that scene. Willow walked good.
You had a couple
really
ones
Willow,
actually. Hold on,
like Willow.
I can pull this up. right here. I'll do a freeze frame. George Lucas's daughter, and you're gonna make me call him Willow. This is gonna drive me nuts. Dude, my name bank is like dead right now.
Oh, I just call him Willow.
Oh my gosh.
He was also Wicket. He was the Ewok.
Yes. This is driving me nuts.
Well, what's Willow's name? Just ask the chat. The chat is extremely smart.
Warwick
Davis. Yeah, Warwick Davis.
Thank you. So if we pull this up here, we're just gonna do a still. Don't take me down. Don't kill me. Don't take me down. Leave me be. So that's Warwick up there. That looks like the Greedo. And then that's George Lucas's daughter. Character name is Amy in the gray. They're standing right next to Anakin. Great little scene. Cool, fun stuff.
It was. I like that he did that because he was kind of like. It's almost like, hey, these are my last three. Let's just throw the family in it.
Yeah.
Even like his little nephew got to swing the lightsaber in episode 3.
Yep.
Had that little underneath swing, you know?
No, that was his kid. That's Jet.
Well, that was his son.
Yeah, that's Jet, man.
Okay. I knew it was a family member. I didn't know it was a son.
Yeah, that's Jet.
I thought it was okay.
That's his kid. Yeah, and that was his daughter, Amy, in Phantom Menace. Yeah, and then Warwick was the other little Rhodian. And then I think in a deleted scene, that little Rhodian talks crap to a little baby Greedo.
Well, George Lucas is seen in the film where he's the big
the blue guy at the opera house.
He's talking to his daughter there.
Yeah.
So I
can never remember the name of that race. As long as I live, I can never remember the name of that race. Not that it matters, but this is the one scene that actually did make me mad. Was the only one where I got really annoyed with Jar Jar Binks was when he was at the pod racer and they're like, "Hey, watch the power coupling. Hey, watch the power coupling. Watch the power coupling," and he sticks his face on it, and then he's like,
"Yeah."
I was like, "Okay, this is too much. This is too much."
Yeah, too much silliness.
Even me at 10, I'm like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
But then
he wins the pod race, and then so Boba loses everything, lost to the chance cube, and the stage is being set. I only freed the boy. I couldn't free your mom.
Yeah,
you know, so it's like, my mom's got to stay here and be a slave. Yeah, but you're gonna come with me, and so I'm like, so all of a sudden, as soon as that scene started, I'm like, oh, here it comes. There's the turn to the dark side. Yeah. Mom's gonna die. Mom's gonna get killed. That's the turn. So it's like it immediately just starts to trigger. Like
she says, "Never look back," and he says, "I will come back to save you. I promise."
Yep. Yeah. That was like key Star where you're like, "Oh, here it comes." That's gonna be crucial.
And that sticks with you through the next 3 movies. It sticks with you. Like that doesn't go away.
Oh. Storm's coming, Annie. Every time it rains, we still say that today.
Storm's coming, Annie. My brother and I do this shit all the time.
My brother, and we're like, it's starting to rain. Storm's coming, Annie.
I do that with my brother sometimes. Like,
yeah,
he'll be out in the yard working on something. I'm like, Luke.
Yeah.
It's everybody knows those, like the notes, the intonation, everything.
That's the beauty of Star Wars, man.
That's a Star Wars fan.
So then he gets back on the ship and he's freezing cold. He meets Obi-Wan.
Well, hold on. He doesn't just peace out.
No, I was about to say we get our first taste of Darth Maul.
Yeah, he has to duck. He almost gets run over. I always think about what happens if he didn't listen. He's like, "What'd you say, Qui-Gon?" And then just bah! Freaking speeder bike just takes his head off.
You knew going in that Obi-Wan's gonna live and Anakin's gonna live to the last movie. Like, so it's like there's nothing. So there was no, they couldn't really put anybody in danger there. Pandoran.
Yep.
So Darth Maul doesn't pull out the double blade; he pulls out the single.
Mm-hmm.
And he fights Qui-Gon.
We get the first, technically in the timeline, the first Sith Jedi battle in the entire series.
But then Qui-Gon is like out of breath. He's like, when Qui-Gon makes the jump, you see him like laying on his back, like
sweating like crazy.
Yeah, and he's like,
we got to remember he's in like a wool poncho fighting the Sith in the freaking 180-degree desert. I'd be sweating too, bro.
Qui-Gon, of course. I'm like, Qui-Gon's like, man, that was intense. You know? And then they got to report back. So they get the part, they zip out, they make it back to Coruscant.
You know, the entirety of Star Wars is Qui-Gon's fault, right?
It was the Force's fault because they had to bring balance.
Qui-Gon was obsessed with prophecies, right? And he's like, damn, I think this kid's the one. What if he just left him there? Would any of this stuff happen?
Yeah.
I know it was the will of the Force, but Anakin was the chosen one.
It's the will of the Force, dude. Somebody would have found him. Sidious. Somebody would have got to him. I'm telling you, somebody would have got to him.
It's a good debate. Okay, all right, we're nearing here towards the end. So obviously, Anakin meets Sheev. Sheev is like, I'm a dirty girl, and just completely tricks him into, I'm going to be your friend for the rest of your life. There's a lot of politics. Padme ends up wearing basically bull horns in the Senate, and then she wears like saggy purple boob. Do you remember the saggy purple boob headdress?
I have never heard it called that, but yeah.
You don't. That's totally what it looks like to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. And then they go back to Naboo and they say we're going to fight the droid army, and they recruit the help of the Gungans, and we find out that Padme is indeed the queen of Naboo. Was that a big surprise for you when you were watching it?
It was a cool scene because it kind of showed that even though she was young, she was very smart, and she knew what she was gonna do. She was like, "I'm gonna put the Gungans at risk, so if they get killed, they're gonna face the army while we try to take over the castle. So you're gonna put your soldiers at risk, but I know how they think, so I'm gonna kneel before them and make Boss Nash feel like, oh, okay, all right, she needs me. We can't win without me. So let's just make it happen." And so Boss Nass, with his pride, was like, "Yeah, all right, we'll do this. We'll fight them. We can take them." And the Queen did all this without the Jedi's help. Padme did all this. The Jedi's like, "We can't fight a war with you." And then Padme was literally, "I'm gonna do this with or without you, Jedi. This is what I'm doing. So you either get on board or just stay out of my way." And that just showed how freaking awesome Padme Amidala was. She was,
that was such a Leia-esque character.
Yes, she was freaking awesome. And when you think about like strong, powerful women, listen, what is she, 19 at the time?
Yeah.
Right, roughly. And it's like, she just was like, "Get out of my way. This is what I'm doing." And she not once, dude, not once did she go to the Jedi saying, "Hey, can I get some counsel here?
Need some man help."
Not one time. She knew exactly. She's like, "All right, I'm leaving here." She had that plan ready to go.
Yeah.
She asked Jar Jar where these people were. She's like, "I'm taking Banaka and we're going back."
Banaka.
And she was only 14, whatever, but she was just like, she was in charge. She was in charge of that whole operation. It was awesome. It was awesome.
That's why it always drives me nuts when people are like, "We've never had strong female characters. We need strong female characters." I'm like, have you never watched Star Wars? Seriously? Like Leia and Padme are up there with Ripley. Just like some of the most badass female characters in the world.
She's 14. Okay.
People
she's
say
only
that,
14.
dude.
So look at that.
She was 14.
And Anakin
well,
was
Natalie
9.
was 14. How old was the character though? Was Padme 14? Oh, Padme was 14. Okay.
And Anakin was 9, right?
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
So then if
whole
we go
thing
back
played out.
and the plan works, and Anakin stay in that cruiser. So he gets in there, and his bond with R2-D2, just like Luke Skywalker, begins to, form. And then you get probably one of the most epic, if not the most epic scene in Star Wars history.
I can't play it. Seriously.
Darth Maul walks out. Dun dun.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Hold on before you play it, though. Before you play it, Darth Maul walks out. They look at Padme and they go, "We got it from here." Padme didn't even blink twice.
She's like, "Peace."
Yeah, she's like, "Cool, you got one guy. We're gonna take on everybody else." And she has total control of everything that's going on, which people don't really give it like that much credit. She has control. She's like, "We gotta free these people. They gotta blow up the little battle droid station.
Yeah, we got a plan.
The Gungans are fighting over there. And once they blow them up, the battle droids will be done. We take over our planet and we win." It's freaking awesome, dude. So you have all this stuff, and then like the Duel of Fates music hit, and it's like, here we go.
Did you watch my short?
Don't risk it, man.
On the Duel of Fates.
Maybe.
And how John Williams created it, it's amazing. We're gonna do so under 5 seconds. I think we're okay if we do under 5 seconds. We're just gonna get the lightsaber ignition. That's all I want, man. I'm like, give it to me. I just want to see the ignition. That's all. Oh, they're already way fighting by that point. Here it is. Okay. So right after this, if you're okay, because we're basically at the end of the movie, I wanted to pull up an article from somebody who had 10 reasons why The Phantom Menace is the worst Star Wars movie ever created.
Okay.
And I think it'd be interesting to go over the topics that they create. Because I don't agree, personally. Droidicas. Okay, we're almost there. Sorry, I'm getting through it. The costumes were so spectacular too, and the N1 Starfighter is still one of my favorite ships ever. You okay, buddy?
I'm just waiting for you to play it.
Okay, I was just saying. Okay, here it is. Here it is, Droidicas, and I think I have to go back a little further. Here it is. Okay, here we go. Present, share screen. Possibly one of the greatest moments in Star Wars history ever. I'm going to keep the music off for a second. Okay. I don't think it's going to get taken down. Do you think it's going to get taken down? You think?
It's your stream.
We'll handle this.
Oh, really good line. I don't know. It's so hard to fast forward on this video because it's like...
They just broke out. They're like, cool.
Peace. We're leaving. Under 30
Yeah.
seconds? I feel like I've been doing under 30 seconds this entire time. Okay. Jay, tell us about your dietary habits.
You are not prepared for this stream. We could have made this so cool. We probably had 1 million views.
You're missing the point. Okay, there's the droidicas. We're going to break this up a little more. Everybody getting ready for this situation here? They're totally going to take me down right now. God damn it. That's too far. That's too early.
We gotta do something.
Anyways, I'm going to talk about this. Here it is. Ready? Oh my God, dude. That was, I'm 10 years old. That was the most incredible moment I think I'd ever experienced in Star Wars. I mean, I loved the original trilogy.
Dude, Star Wars boners in every seat.
Everywhere. I mean,
No matter,
robes
even
went
if you were a
fucking
girl.
6 to midnight, like everywhere. Lady boners in the crowd.
Everywhere.
Everybody lost their mind. And then we got possibly, I mean, well, not possibly, at least at that point, it was the most epic lightsaber battle we'd ever seen in our entire life. Nick Gillard choreographed one of the most amazing lightsaber fights I have ever seen. Anything, sword fight in any movie, anything, it doesn't matter. It was incredible. And Ray Park and Ewan McGregor were going so hard that they were snapping freaking no.
Yeah, it's gone. You gotta be careful, dude. I'm just you keep talking to me about growing and growth. Like,
Is it just because I have more than 1,000 followers now? Because I've done this like consistently.
probably, yeah, you're monetized now, so you want to do a stream that's gonna last, dude, and it will bring more people to your channel. You are it with Star Wars. There's no one else, man. You don't want people going to like these other people. You want them to come
Careful
here.
in case they put
You're
it
back
back up.
on. You're
Just-
back up.
I
You're
was
back
gonna
up.
say, watch what she's saying here.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's just I just don't want you to get a strike like that.
I just don't understand why they keep taking it down and putting it back. Like, look, I'm trying to help you guys here. Look, anyways, like I said, totally worth it. But
we heard everything. I'm sure you did. I didn't say anything wrong.
It was actually a compliment. It's on record now that Jay complimented me. He's like, "Hey, with Star Wars, you're it." I'm like,
"Yeah."
Actually, can I hold you by the waterfall?
Stick my tongue out. It was so weird.
So that was it.
I was like 15 pounds heavier there because of all the traveling junk. It's pretty wild.
Funny, I'm 15 pounds heavier now after that corn and all this freaking junk food I ate in the parks. Okay, so I guess since we're back on track,
where would you rank the lightsaber duel?
Out of what, 5? I mean, how many lightsaber duels are we gonna do? So there's Duel of the Fates, Battle of the Heroes, there's Jedi's Fury, and then I mean
number
Empire
3 on your list,
Empire Strikes Back, and then this is, dude, it might be 1.
This is number 2 for me.
It's a dip between this and Battle of the Heroes. It depends on my mood because this is the first one, and they go so hard, and then between
Episode
that
3
and
was
Battle
my
of the
favorite.
Heroes, dude, Battle of the Heroes is freaking amazing.
Yeah, this one's 2. Battle of the episode 3 was. I mean, you're watching this, and then you were my brother, Anakin. I love you.
See, but that's not the lightsaber duel. You're attaching the emotion to the duel.
It's all connected, bro, because he cut him up. It's all connected.
If we're talking about just lightsaber fighting, I'm going to go with this. If we're talking about emotional impact, 100% I'm going with Battle of the Heroes. 100%. Easily. Chat, what do you think? If you were going to group the two, emotional impact and lightsaber fight, like mechanics, what are you going to pick?
That doesn't make sense because then it's all intertwined. That's what makes the lightsaber. That's why some people will say Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi is their favorite lightsaber duel because of what it meant. The son fighting the father and how deep that is. You know what I mean? Like you can't remove the emotional.
Yeah, see, you're talking about the emotion. So that if you're going to rank it
can't remove
emotionally,
that
I'm
from
doing
the fight
Battle of
because
Heroes.
if you remove it from the fight, then it's just 2 people hitting sticks in their backyard.
Yeah, but it's badass.
There's no doubt. I agree.
I mean, my brother. Yeah, look, I cut my brother's thumb off. He split my bicep in half fighting with long swords. Like, I can enjoy the badassery of 2 people just going at it. So,
and you might want to throw Yoda in there as number 1. As far as like that lightsaber duel was pretty sick.
Yoda was dope, dude. You want to? Well, we're gonna get into that on the next one. That's gonna be a topic of conversation.
Yeah, we're staying in Phantom Menace. We'll stay in Phantom Menace.
There was something, you know what's so depressing? There was something at the end of the credits that I really wanted to show, and now I think if I do it, it's going to take it off at the end of the stream.
I would just talk about it, man. All you gotta do is talk about it. The only issue that I had with that lightsaber duel was at the very end where Obi-Wan was hanging. I didn't mind it in that movie, but they kind of made it a thing. Where Obi-Wan is just constantly hanging on by his hands. And I just didn't like it's like we've seen that over and over. Why keep going to the well with that? It worked in episode 1. I didn't like it in episode 3.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I also think it's kind of funny that like
because he wins both times hanging and gets up and wins. It's
you're talking about Grievous and then
yeah.
I just I don't know. It's freaking Obi-Wan. Like he's gonna make it. We know he's gonna make it. He probably could have done something else with Grievous. Probably.
He could have just crushed his lung with a force. I mean,
yeah, he's not that dude though. You're not that guy.
I got it.
I just feel like I don't know. There's some kind of foreshadowing, I feel like, kind of in the end of it, you know, that Obi-Wan was able to jump over Darth Maul, right? And then Anakin wasn't able to jump over Obi-Wan. There's the high ground rule going on there.
I'm so with you on that. It was freaking sick.
Yeah.
The Obi-Wan Darth Maul where he's like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. Might be number one.
There's a lot of good stuff there, man.
And that's the beautiful thing, is that these actors like trained for months in these duels. They trained. Not like what you have. Listen, Robot Head breaks down the lightsaber scene in The Last Jedi, and it is the biggest cluster of
shit.
Yeah, that you could possibly imagine. And I think even as bad as the movies were, if the lightsaber duels were great, we might have overlooked some things, but they were. How do you have the technology we have today to make the greatest lightsaber duels known to man and just totally flush it in the toilet?
Yeah.
Or
it says hi.
I know, I said hi back.
Yeah, so I mean,
but anyway, stay at Phantom Menace. We're on Phantom Menace.
Yeah, Phantom
Positive.
Menace. So yeah, positive happiness. I just, for me, I mean, Nick Gillard was an absolute savage in creating these fights, and he knew exactly what to do with the lightsaber. And the funny part is, it's been broken down over and over and over and over again. If you have a lightsaber, you would never fight the way that they fight in Star Wars. It makes no sense. If you're going to utilize a weapon in the right way, you would just turn it off when somebody swings at you and then turn it back on. It's right through their head. That's not the point. It's a show. Why do people go to medieval times? It's not because they're waiting for their knight to win. They want to see the battle. And so his ability to make like essentially a stage battle where every single swing is dangerous, every one is impactful, every single hit is like sketchy and scary, and every movement is purposeful. His ability to do that was incredible. And we were spoiled as fuck having him in Star Wars. I will sing the praise of that man until the day I have no breath. He's incredible.
Agreed.
So
and then Darth Maul dies, and we're all kind of like, ah,
yeah, what the fuck, man?
The man created a character that we fell in love with before we even saw the character. That's how cool George Lucas was.
Yep.
We saw like his toy, like just him in the in the teaser trailers, and we're just like, I love him. I want to touch him and rub those little horns with oil. I love Darth Maul. Hey guys.
Wait, did I miss something?
No.
Somebody said I want to touch his little horns with oil.
And then of course they bring him back.
He's just gonna skate right past that one.
They couldn't let Darth Maul sleep. They bring him back. They put him in Solo. They put him in Clone Wars.
Well, look, here's the thing, though. So everybody bitches about Maul coming back. George's sequel trilogy treatment
was
Maul was the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maddie, look, we're past that. We're being positive. We're looking back, not forward right now. We're looking back, not forward. So yeah, so the movie then goes on. We get the essentially the throne room scene revitalized, right?
Yeah, Qui-Gon gets burned.
Yeah.
At his funeral. Yeah.
Did you ever notice in that ending scene though something peculiar about the music?
Was it a Yub Nub?
No, it was na 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 na.
Yeah.
What's the Emperor's theme? Na 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 na. It was the freaking Emperor's theme.
That's not real.
It is. It's the Emperor's theme. It's the same notes. And so when they pull it up and they show Palpatine, it is Palpatine's music.
Okay.
Yep. Just in G major.
Okay.
And then something I wanted to show up.
I think that's just coincidence.
Let's go chat. Nothing is coincidence with George or John. You know that. There's no coincidence. And then at the very, 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 very end of the credits, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but at the very end of the credits, it switches into Vader's theme and you hear him breathe at the end of at the end of it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dog. That shit was real. You don't want to
Pretty
believe me? Don't
cool.
believe me. Okay.
Pretty cool.
You ready for this article?
Yes.
Dude, I don't know if you're going to be happy with what this person has to say. Okay. All right. Here we go. Number 1, worst thing, Jar Jar Binks. Agree or
If we
disagree?
have to say, you should have started with 10, right? And worked your way up to 1.
We're going to go 1 to 10.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree.
You think that's the worst thing in the Phantom Menace?
Yeah. What's worse?
You drive a hard bargain. Yeah, I don't know that there is anything.
If we're
else
rating the
to
worst,
that.
you have to say that's the worst.
I don't know.
And
We got a lot of
and
dude.
so,
There's
and
a
it
lot
can't
of
be
Jar Jar
like,
love in the chat.
yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, out of everything in the film, if you had to pick the worst thing, I probably would pick Jar Jar.
Okay.
I don't really know what else would be worse than that.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, that's still like a little
Midichlorians.
nitpick. That's a little nitpick for me. Like, yeah, Jar Jar was kind of fucking annoying, but
Yeah.
that was it. That was it. For
Yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly.
Anakin sure is cheerful for a slave. Yippee!
Yeah,
I don't
there's
imagine
that,
slaves ever saying yippee.
there's that
Perhaps,
yippee line that I hate.
perhaps he's a house slave who likes his master, like Samuel Jackson's joke. I'm not gonna finish that.
I could see him happy.
Yeah.
He doesn't really quite know life. He seems to have a mom that loves him. The boss loves him because he could fix things.
Yeah.
So I don't see that as a negative.
I would say it almost embodies his son. There's a lot of hope, right? He's like, why is everybody so mean to each other? I just want to help people. I'm like, yeah, he's super cheerful. Yeah.
And we saw that in all 3 films. Like, even in the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith, like, Anakin's like, I'm gonna go help him out. And Obi-Wan's like, nope, they're doing their job.
Yeah. Yep.
So
what would you do if she was in your position?
Yeah, exactly. See, exactly. So no, I think they're wrong. Midichlorians.
I can't argue with this one. A lot of people were really mad about it. That's not something that like drove me nuts. It didn't drive me nuts, but I could understand how, that kind of wipes out.
Wasn't a deal killer for me. I just felt it was a quick pass.
Well, you know what I would equate this to something that like in the sequel trilogy where you're kind of removing the mysticism out of the Force. I could see that.
Yeah, I agree. I
could see that.
That's the beauty of the Force. It's like we don't quite understand it.
And as soon as you try to quantify it, it takes out the magic.
Yeah, you put it in a box. Right. I agree.
Yeah. So I get that. Dumb luck is strong with Anakin. I'm not even going to read the paragraph. It's the will of the Force. So stop talking. The Force was strong with Luke. To destroy the Death Star, he uses instinct, guided by the Force, along with skill, determination, nerve, and a little help from Han. Anakin, on the other hand, just happened to hide in a ship that happened to fly into the middle of a dull space battle. He maneuvered wildly and just happened to fly into a hangar on the Maid droid control ship. He fired proton torpedoes all over the place and just happened to hit the main reactor, conveniently located in the hangar.
Han just happened to show up at the right time to shoot the TIE fighter to knock Darth Vader out of his way. Yeah, that's dumb. I don't like that.
I don't like these. Convenience it's apparent in every story that exists.
Yeah, but we talk about the will of the Force and leading us and directing us and our thoughts and our actions. So yeah, I think Anakin was just being followed by the Force.
Yeah,
that's what makes him Anakin. That's how he was able to win the pod race. I think it just was all part of it.
He was a pod racer.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. He should try spinning. It's a good trick. All right. Number 5. The Star Wars is seen on C-SPAN.
What?
Okay, hold on. Just really quick. Let's adapt this to modern era. It's like Star Wars on...
Oh, for like politics?
WB. The taxation. Oh wait, no, I totally misread that.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally misread that.
C-SPAN is like a 24-hour channel that like has the Congress and stuff on.
The taxation of trade routes, trade federations, debates in the Senate. These are the times that I actually noticed the time pass. I'm actually bored at a Star Wars movie. What's going on?
Yeah, this is the political stuff that they didn't want to see. Yeah, I disagree. That sets up the whole thing. I think that's stupid.
See, so the only thing I would push back against you is like, you didn't like Andor though, right? And Boar.
No, I didn't like Andor.
See, it's boring, but why?
Because
probably because it didn't have
it's a
giant
spin-off
Jedi
from the
Knight
spin-off.
battles and shit.
No, it's a spin-off from a spin-off that didn't need to be made. They just didn't know what to do. And so now they're rewriting Star Wars right before our eyes, and nobody sees that.
And
how the rebellion is born, how all this is happening, it's all being rewritten.
And that's where I would push back is like, this is galactic politics on a massive scale. So even if it's boring, this is the stuff that's happening that's affecting the entire galaxy.
That's how Palpatine takes over.
Yeah. So it's integral. It's integral. Whereas you might make the argument that Andor, the boring stuff doesn't.
I never found that part
anything.
boring either. I never found that. I found that interesting.
Never found it boring when Padmé was in the Senate. Not enough Darth Maul. The most interesting character in the movie gets the least amount of screen time, then dies. I think he has a total of 3 lines and 8 minutes and 10 seconds of screen time.
That means that they made a character so cool that people wanted more.
Yeah.
And maybe if we had gotten more, it might not have been as good. Maybe a little training montage could have been thrown in there.
Kind of like Boba, right?
You know, a little something. I don't know. I think Darth Maul had as much. I think it was perfect. Would I have liked to see more? Of course. But I was hoping he'd be in all 3 films. Like he was the Dooku character, you know? But it didn't work out that way.
Misa want the Jar Jar anthology movie already.
Number 7. I can agree with. Stay focused.
I was gonna pull up a video for that, but okay, let's move on. Good to see you, Andy. That 2-headed announcer guy.
I agree. I didn't like that. That might have been my. Actually, you know what? That's my number 1.
That's worse than Jar Jar.
That's worse than Jar Jar. Thank you
so
for.
It's announcer guy and then Jar Jar. Okay.
I don't know why I didn't like it.
The longer we're going, the more I'm starting to agree with this person.
The more like I just don't like that. I don't know why I don't like that announcer guy. I just never liked him.
I never thought of it. Never even gave it a thought. Never even gave it a thought. This one I can agree with. The inexplicable promotion of Jar Jar Binks.
I disagree because only us saw a lot of the negative that came with Jar Jar. The rest of the people knew what he was a general.
Yeah, just
he hung out with
war.
Listen, he hung out with Jedis. He hung out with the Queen. He hung out with Boss Nass. He was a general. He was a war hero. Why would you not want that? Promote that guy. You never saw
like a 5-minute conversation with him and be like, you're probably not right for this.
I don't know. In the rest of the movies, he was pretty quiet. Maybe he just learned to shut up and just nod.
A lesson I could learn well on YouTube. Shut up and nod. All right. The Gungan life debt.
See, I think George was smart because they realized that a lot of people hated Jar Jar. Because listen, George trolled a lot of us too. Because when he went to Star Wars convention, they're like, "What's your favorite character?" He's like, "Oh, Jar Jar Binks."
Jar Jar. He said that before the movie released, though. In all the interviews, he's like, "We're hanging a lot on Jar Jar."
I know. I just think that was him trolling, and he made him give him like the ultimate destruction of the galaxy.
This one I don't get. The Gungan life debt. I thought it was weird and an excuse to tag along. I don't get that one.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with a life debt.
And I don't know why this is like we don't like the movie because of that.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Here's a big one. The movie made Samuel L. Jackson boring.
Oh, I totally disagree. Totally disagree. It made his acting a little stiff, but that's not what we're used to seeing Samuel Jackson. We're used to seeing Snakes on a Plane. Samuel Jackson, Snakes on a Plane was peak Samuel Jackson on every movie that he's ever been in.
I kind of hate you for saying that.
Why?
Because he's a phenomenal actor.
I know, but what I'm saying
Snakes on
is
a Plane was the one you're going to reference?
he used all his great one-liners on Snakes on a Plane. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, he opened up a bathroom door. He's like, oh my God, a python.
It's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be.
Get these snakes off this mother trucking plane. It was perfect. No, it's not a worst take.
Come on, he doesn't have to say mother effer or anything, but yeah, I know the whole anger thing is bad for Jedi. Dude, I disagree. Hardcore.
I disagree big time. I thought it was excellent.
He's a bad
I thought the acting George Lucas just the dialogue was a little stiff on the prequels. I get it, because he was like, you believe it's this boy?
Yeah,
that's Samuel Jackson.
I don't have a problem with it. That's something I've had to deal with for a long time.
I never had a major problem with it. I just know that the prequels had cringy stuff in it, like the yippies, the broadcasters. Some of the acting was a little stiff, but no,
What do you want Jake to say? Like, yes, bro. When he was leaving the shop, what's a better line? What do you want?
He could have ran out without saying anything.
Sick. Like, what do you want him to say? You know, he's a little kid. He's a little kid.
I don't know. Nobody says yippee, not even little kids.
Well, we haven't hung out enough. I finished peeing. I'm like, yippee! Just from the bathroom. I don't know. I just feel like the nitpicks, the reasons people hate the Phantom Menace are like very shallow. There have been some arguments that are like, this is deeply flawed because of this part of the story. And all of those can be rebuked in like a very short conversation. So I don't really think that like the Phantom Menace deserves the hate that it does. I freaking love this movie.
No, it's awesome.
I adore the movie. And there are two of the most amazing scenes in Star Wars that I can remember to date. The pod race and Duel of the Fates are some of the most spectacular moments in cinema history that have ever been created. And then beyond that, the sound design and the soundtrack that went along with it, spectacular. And I don't know if you knew this, Jay, but if you watch the pod race back, there is not one snippet of music during that entire pod race, because they wanted to focus on the sound design. So for me, I just like,
there was music in the pod race.
That was in, oh well, okay, I take that back. I'm sorry. When he's flipping,
bro, you just told the biggest lie in Star Wars history.
Hold on.
He was breaking, it was dun,
and he goes,
dun, 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 and it was smoking and all that stuff. Yeah, see?
I'm sorry. During the dramatic scene, there is some music.
No, the other times it was just, which was freaking sick, man. I loved it.
We should make a full voiceover. You know, it'd be a funny video. Voice over the pod race scene with human voices. No, I'll do it by myself. That's fine.
Oh, I like it.
So that is the Phantom Menace. First episode of this limited release.
What an amazing movie.
Podcast. Did you enjoy yourself, Jay? I feel like it warms my heart so much that I can finally get you to actually talk Star Wars with me. And it's not
I loved it.
The usual round.
I loved it. Certain scenes I was getting goosebumps like all over, like we were talking about them, and like breaking down the stuff, like just reminding people how awesome Padmé was at such a young age, that George Lucas wrote incredible characters. There was no virtue signaling stuff. Everybody was important. everybody had a role, even Jar Jar Binks, Banaka.
Tanaka.
I'm sorry, it's just stuck in my head forever. George just didn't leave anybody out, and I loved his writing when it came to that. You know, there is every scene in this film was important. You know, every scene. And people, the only thing that I do hear people say is like they could take the pod racing scene out and Qui-Gon could just steal. That's just not who he was. Steal the part and steal the boy. Like, I'm a Jedi. I could just murder him.
He could have just said, let's roll it on chance before the
yeah,
pod
he
race.
could have done he's like, well, I'll give you my ship, blue or red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would have been the end of it.
But that doesn't make for a good story. That's what George does. He tells good stories. And yeah, sometimes you have to suspend disbelief a little bit to enjoy the story, but stop being such a cynic. Fucking enjoy it. Watch it. Enjoy it. That's what I have done tonight. I've enjoyed this talk
I loved it
with you. It's nice to just sit and talk about Star Wars and not be pissed off, even if it's for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just to be happy.
See, what I want to do, instead of you showing pictures, is go through little scenes and really dig out the little stuff that people might miss.
You gonna clip them all for me and send them to me? So I got a folder?
No, just talk about it. Just walk through the movie. We've all seen the movie a million times. Some funny parts, some bad parts, some cool parts.
Well,
that way your stream doesn't get taken down. We were about to hit peak numbers. The stream got taken down. So,
well, look, here's the deal. You guys have been amazing in the chat. I love the reception.
Chat is top tier.
Just us going back and having fun and talking about this and having you guys here with us to like enjoy this. I mean, look, bottom line is there's 60 people still here right now at the end of the stream. It's been so amazing to see all you guys stoked on the OG Star Wars, why I started my channel, why I'm here, the stuff that I love to talk about. I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of all this different stuff. Star Wars fans are good people. Real Star Wars fans are good people. And so I appreciate all you guys. And
next is going to be episode 2, where we're going to have a big discussion about lightsabers, because that was the first time we saw people not giving a crap about their lightsaber. They're just throwing them and breaking them and tossing them. And you're just like, what? What's going on here? Darth Maul had his signature. Obi-Wan had his signature. Qui-Gon had his signature. We get to episode 2. Anakin's going through lightsabers like your M&Ms, man. You know?
This is going to be an interesting conversation. I mean, the burning question is, though, will you be back next week for episode 2 of What We Love About Star Wars?
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Next Friday, man.
Absolutely beautiful. So stay tuned. Don't leave. Before you leave, if you can, please hit the like button. And actually, something you can do that's amazing for the channel, stick a comment in the bottom. Tell me what was your favorite scene from the Phantom Menace. You can pick whatever reason, whatever it was it visual? Was it emotional? Was it graphics? Anything? Stick a comment in the bottom. Let me know what your favorite scene from the Phantom Menace was. Phantom Menace was. And then we'll see you guys on Friday, next Friday, for one of the most controversial films in the prequels, Attack of the Clones. And actually, one of my favorites. So we're going to have a lot to talk about then. Everybody have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Please give a big round of applause in the chat for my co-host, my big brother in my Make-A-Wish Foundation, Drunk3PO, was kind enough to donate his time to be here tonight. Everybody, have a good night. May the Force be with you always.